Heyo everybody, Haku here with my review of One Piece anime episode 777. Man, the numbers just keep climbing. But either way, I heard before going into this when I'm watching it, I did hear some bad things about it, like, oh, it's pretty much a flashback show, and I said that at the end of last week's episode's review, where I was like, okay, we can see that they kind of have an excuse to go into flashbacks, and they're likely going to take that excuse in order to, give them some more time and allow them to slow down the pace so that they don't quite catch up to the manga. Even though the manga's a good bit ahead, it just gives them a little bit more time. So I knew they were going to take that. So I was expecting it to be a bit negative, but actually I didn't think it was bad at all. I think the flashbacks were actually decent. I mean, I didn't think they took away from much, and the episode itself was still important. And that's one thing that, I like to always think, okay, I'm like, stupid people are off doing something else. They're into Justin Bieber swag or whatever stupid people are into these days. But I'm like, anime fans are a little bit smarter than that. But then I'm always like, okay, don't destroy your own illusion. Don't go into the comments on an anime episode. Just don't do it. So I watched the One Piece episode and I break my own rule. And I'm like, especially One Piece, because it's a... don't break your own illusion. It's a shonen, it's super popular. It's bound to have a larger percentage of that small percentage of stupid anime fans. And I go down and all the comments are, is this filler? And people saying, yeah, it's filler. Not only are you stupid enough to think that people gathering for the Reverie, seeing people that we haven't seen in a while again, not only are you dumb enough to think this is filler, but you're so butthurt about something you don't understand to spread the misinformation to other people. That's a second layer of stupidity on the stupid cake for people that thought that this was filler. No, of course it is not filler. Why would seeing people gather for Reverie, something that's been hinted at for years now, something that's very important to the series overall, the world government's gathering together, why would that be filler? Why would seeing Stelly again here be filler? Why would seeing a new person join our main group on the way to the next arc, Whole Cake Island, why on earth would you think that that was filler? Like, I do not understand the misinterpretation or mistake here, unless they were saying, the flashbacks weren't in the manga. Yes, but this is the anime. Whenever they do something like this, they have to do the flashbacks, because there are people that maybe they haven't been watching One Piece for near 20 years like the rest of us, or perhaps even they just need a refresher, and it's something that they have to do, and something that, if you think about it, they're going to do. When they're given the chance to do a flashback like this, they're going to do that flashback. But either way, going through it, we start out with the Alabasta side of the flashbacks and everything, but before getting into the flashbacks, we actually see Hina's going with them, see Hina's crew again, and of course the Alabasta royal family. I really do like the OST here. In the beginning of this episode, I actually had some nice animation. There were some weird character designs in the crowd, but the overall animation looked pretty nice. And then getting into the flashbacks, they were actually pretty hype. I mean, it reminded me how much I miss pre-time skip One Piece, honestly. But seeing fucking Crocodile again, one of my favorite characters, my boy Pell again, the guy that can survive a nuke, and the animation for the flashbacks, I'll say, was hit and miss. There were some parts where I'm like, that's a pretty nice looking sequence, and then sometimes I'm like, okay, not so great, and it had to be reanimated. It couldn't have been the same animation, I don't think, because I've seen the OVA, like, episode of Alabasta or episode of Vivi, whichever it was called, and I've also, of course, seen the original, and the style of this animation didn't look like either. It did look worse than both of them, but then again, it was just a flashback. It wasn't focused on what was happening as much. So, yeah, it had to be reanimated, because it did not look like the old stuff had been reused here. Then we see back in present time that Cobra is now ill and wheelchair bound and is actually dying. He says he doesn't have much time left to live, but he wants to ask the world government before he dies about the poneglyphs and about what one of the kings of the Nefertari clan did so long ago that they didn't get to live up all fancy on Meriwa with the rest of the nobles or whatever. So, very, very good things to ask about there, Cobra. He also wants Vivi to get married before he dies, and she says throw away all the suitors' names or whatever, which a lot of people interpreted a lot of different ways. I saw a ton of people saying, oh, that means she must be going in for that Luffy romance, and maybe not. There's no real way to tell just from that. Then we see Stelly in a hotel at Loketown, and we get to see Loketown again. And Stelly, for those of you who don't remember, I figure most of you probably do, was Sabo's brother back at the Goa Kingdom. And again, this is really important for the story because Sabo is alive now. Luffy is from Goa Kingdom. He's from the island that Goa Kingdom is on, at least. So yeah, his home island's king, sort of, is now Stelly, who has a stepbrother kind of connection to Sabo. So it is pretty damn important, and he's going to be at Meriwa, and we know some shit's got to go down there, because we can't just have a normal arc without some shit going down. Or Reverie, rather. So then we see Meriwa, and we get some hype built up for the leaders all going there. We see the Kano Kingdom, which is apparently where Sai is from, I believe, and they say that Sai hasn't returned yet, and they have some stuff that they need to say at the Reverie. So, that dude seemed a bit sketchy. He seemed a little more sinister than he came across to me in the manga. But, either way, it'll be really cool if Sai just walks up into Reverie. That'll be great. And when you think about it, they said Reverie is like the union of 50 countries coming together for a meeting or something. Of those 50, the Straw Hats have a lot of allies in there. If Sai shows up there, Shirahoshi, the Alabasta royal family, they have... the Dressrosa royal family, I just remembered as well. The people from Drum Kingdom, they have a lot of people that are going to be their allies to have a voice in there. Then we see the Ryugu Kingdom, of course, at Fishman Island. And the first thing I thought was, what the hell is up with Shirahoshi? I don't remember. I could be wrong. Maybe I should just go back and look at some old scenes or something. But I don't remember that being Shirahoshi's voice, personally. I do not remember it being that high-pitched and annoying. But I was like, oh god, what are they doing with this voice? She, of course, is scared to go to Meriwa, but her brothers and father are just like, it's just straight up to Meriwa. It'll be fine. You're going to be good. You can go somewhere else with Luffy some other time. And, of course, her brothers and Neptune reminded me of how annoying the little speech quirks that Oda does here and there. It reminded me how annoying the ones in Fishman Island were, and how almost every character had them. Yeah, they were annoying just for that one scene. Fishman Island, overall, had some good points, and some pretty bad, annoying points. And then, at the very end, we see the Straw Hats still recovering from the fall from Zoe, and then, bam, Waifu Carrot is joining the main crew for Whole Cake Island's arc. So, yeah. Then we see our promo for next week, and I swear, guys, if we have Dressrosa flashbacks already. We just spent over 2 years in Dressrosa in the anime, and we've maybe had less than a year since that ended. We don't need to go back and see more Dressrosa. We know what happened. That was not like over 10 years ago like Alabasta was. That was like last year. We don't need Dressrosa flashbacks. Please no. I'm begging you, Toei. Please don't make me go through Dressrosa flashbacks. But honestly, this episode, I thought it was pretty fun. I didn't think it was bad. The flashbacks were there, of course, but they weren't insulting. It's like sometimes we've had flashback episodes and stuff, and even in other anime, when they have flashback episodes, it's like, okay, those are pretty damn insulting. It's like stuff you should either really know, or they cut it together, where it's just like playing you a slideshow of flashbacks, and it's like, it's almost insulting that they're saying, that they're giving you this. But this, it felt like it fit. It felt like it was necessary, so I'm okay with it. Did I need the flashbacks? No, but I understand the more casual watchers that would. So, yeah, I think it's a completely understandable episode, and honestly a relatively solid episode. There was there were flashbacks, but there was a lot of important stuff in there as well with regard to Reverie, which is going to be a big, huge thing whenever it happens. Because we still have no idea. But yeah, and also, I love it that Carrot is coming with us and that she's getting an important role in the next arc. And no, it isn't any sort of manga spoiler that she's getting an important role, because you figure her and Pedro are pretty much part of our main group here for this arc. They're going to have roles at least as large as a Straw Hat role in this arc. So, yeah, I really like that for Carrot. I'm glad that she's with us. So overall, for a score, not anything great or anything. But actually really good, really solid. I'll give it 7.5. Let me think of something real quick. 7.5 surprise crew members out of 10. That one wasn't very good. 7.5 out of 10 though. Either way, guys, like if you did like the video, comment down there, tell me what you thought of this episode and what you thought of my thoughts on it. Subscribe for more One Piece, both anime and manga. Ton of other anime, ton of other manga, ton of just stuff on the channel. Check it out and sub if you want. Follow on Twitter if you want. And I'll try to keep you updated there and stuff for the channel. That's it. Share the video if you want, and I'll see you all next time.